SNL, you know?
We are SNL.
I think that'd be a great idea. We're better. No, we're better.
We
No.
are better than way better than SNL because we're Koala Bear Gang. It might have ended abruptly last week, but that was
A little
design.
bit.
So
Because Sopranos.
Ooh, dude, I've been watching The Sopranos, dude.
Have you?
Sopranos is so cool,
Yeah.
man. I'm on the
I've never seen it.
It's good.
Sorry.
It's very good.
But
I know.
I
I need to. I have Max. Sorry, not HBO.
Yeah, Max. Yeah, Max.
No, it's just Max.
It's
No,
just Max.
I got into The Sopranos in 2019, like in this, like it was winter to spring, and yeah, Josh, how far are you?
We're in season 6, the last season right now. But the thing about The Sopranos is, we watch it, but it has a vibe where like some things, like you're focused on one big thing that's going on, and so you kind of look over and look past small conversations and characters and happenings, and then something big happens with those characters.
Yep.
And you're like, what
out of
the
that
fuck
small thing
happened? Yeah, and then so like me and my girl, we haven't rewinded it, but we just both decided like we're just gonna have to rewatch this again because we missed a lot of details where we're like, why did that person die? Why is you know?
Yeah, like how new characters come in. Like what was the one with like Ralphie? Like at first, like he just shows up at the mom's funeral one day, and he's like, okay, like he's kind of like a man. Then he gets promoted, and then there's a whole episode about him like killing a stripper.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, is this guy like the worst guy in the show? Like, where did he come from?
Like, and why is he still here? Like, why is he mafia tied again?
So hang on. So where do you believe about the horse theory about him and the horse? Do you think he did it on purpose, or do you think it was just an accident?
I honestly think it was an accident, but but Ralphie had the temperament of literally he said, I'm not fucking afraid of that fat fuck. Talking about Tony. I'm not afraid of that fat fuck. So he just had a rebellious attitude, but because he didn't care about his authority and what he said, he didn't look after it as closely as he could have, and the accident happened. Now, I don't think he actually killed the horse on purpose. I just think he didn't fuck.
I think it was enough for Tony to know that, but he would.
Yeah.
And
they
I think
care
definitely
enough about Tony for his well-being.
Well, and Tony, even though like Tony like sucked it up about like the stripper at the bada bing, like you could tell he was still mad about that.
Yeah, he was mad about that.
So I think what we need no more live action. We need anime adaptations of live action shows.
God.
We need the anime
Dude, honestly, there is a show.
Here we go.
Called
Sopranime.
Sopranime. What is it called? I think it's like 9 days. What was it? Is it 98 days? Movie about It's about
90.
prohibition. It's an anime about 91 days. It's an anime about prohibition.
Oh, okay.
It's the closest thing to The Sopranos. It's fucking
in anime
as fuck.
Okay.
Like I love this anime. It's a short anime too. I think it's like only like 15, 20 episodes. But it's good. It's really good.
The Mafia.
It's really. This is another one that would be a great adaptation if they took it seriously, because it's pretty much The Sopranos in anime form.
Huh.
Yeah, so check it out. 91 Days is a shit.
Okay, it's funny. It's a very like anime like version look of it though.
Oh,
like it's still like he's got the hair and the.
Talking about 1991 days.
And it's all about the Prohibition era, and they're like bootlegging alcohol, and the mafia ties around that in that era.
But really it looks like 2004, like with their hair.
Yeah.
But in that anime way.
You know, love anime. It's like like how was it Full Metal Alchemist is like supposed to be a 1900s type of vibe too.
Yeah, what was that show?
Sick ass code.
There was a show. The HBO show, there was Boardwalk Empire, which was that was after Sopranos. That was with Steve Buscemi, who also was in Sopranos.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
And that one, I watched some of that. That show is so dark, though. That one's about the Prohibition era in Atlantic City, and it goes, I think, from the beginning to the end of Prohibition, and it's good, but like. The Sopranos can get dark, but this show would get like so dark sometimes. I'm like, I need a break.
I almost wonder now that you say that if they modeled the character 91 Days maybe after this guy, or after Steve Buscemi's character.
Oh,
with the
Michael
slick back
Pitt.
hair, you know, because it is about the Prohibition as well. Maybe that's where they got the inspiration.
Also, Steve Buscemi is. I like his part in Sopranos a lot
Yeah.
because first you're like really rooting for him because you're like, no, this guy like he's out of jail, he's got his act cleaned up, and then like he just can't help himself.
Yeah.
Remember when he's like at a store and the Chinese
Yeah.
guy like won't leave him alone and
Yeah, but that was the funny thing. That's another thing about The Sopranos. Like, you think you got it one way, and then they're like, no, this character's
Cartoon.
this way. Like it's
Is that a cartoon tag?
Yeah, right here. Like it's very like
I could draw good.
Chris, the character Chris, he's probably my favorite character.
Oh yeah.
I love this character too. He's just so funny to me.
Oh yeah, Paulie.
I
Yeah.
keep forgetting his name.
Paulie.
And that's another thing. Their names are so like how there's Tony and Tony. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, Tony
it's
B,
hard
yeah.
to like remember people too. So that's why I want to rewatch it. I thought that Carmine was someone else for like 3 episodes.
Oh yeah, isn't Carmine his Uncle Junior? That's his real name. Yeah.
See?
I think.
No.
Yeah. No, wait, it's not Carmine, it's Corrado.
So many like little nicknames. And guess what?
Corrado.
Guess what
That's
Tony's,
right.
Tim, guess what Tony's son's name is?
Tony Jr.
Yep.
Yep.
I
But
knew
they
it.
call him AJ. Yeah.
So there's AJ. But
AJ. Okay, so it's like Breaking Bad. Say they just got the junior of the main character.
But Chris.
In that way.
Oh yeah, Chris is one of the ones
he's
who
not
I think.
What's his last name? I forget.
Maltasanti.
I love this character. He is so. He's like a better Jesse Pinkman to me.
Oh, because
yeah.
at the beginning, it's funny in the first like couple seasons. Even though he's not a great guy, I'm like, oh, I kind of like Chris. And then as it goes on, I still love the character, but he gets worse.
Yeah.
Like in every way.
But then you still kind of feel bad for him, like when
that's
Steve
the
Buscemi's
show's
character
trick.
comes through, and he talks about how they used to treat him when they were all young, and
Well, and he's kind of like pathetic at times, so you feel bad for him. Like that's the show's trick. Like
I don't know this guy.
Yeah,
Maltasanti,
trust me, he's a
man.
good.
He
reminds me a little bit of
he's
someone
either a total jerk or a really nice guy. I can't tell.
that's literally his character.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's literally his
Because
character.
sometimes
just from
he's really
looking at him.
He reminds me a little bit of someone we knew, but he was like, because sometimes he'd be really cool.
Okay.
You talking about fish, Mr. Filet-O-Fish?
Well,
Oh,
a little
hey.
bit in the
Hey.
way, in the way like sometimes it's like, oh yeah, sometimes he's fine, and then other times he'll just do something and it's like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? And I'll be like, I just had to.
Now, what do you guys think about Carmela? Because I actually talked to some people.
It's
on
the
my
flip
last
flopping.
show, and people didn't like her, and I don't see why. I know the fan base says that she's an annoying character. I just don't.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No, I think they want to make her a Skylar White, but no. Here's the thing: when she's mad at Tony, she's got good reasons to be mad at him.
Good reasons.
Like she pretty much knows he cheats, and her thing is like, look, as long as it doesn't go home, like as long as it doesn't interfere with my life, then we're cool. But when it does,
And then he started like, I don't want to give too much away in case if Tim starts watching, but
hey, maybe someday.
He just stopped giving a fuck about like being that clean, and he just be like, I pay for everything, so it doesn't matter. I don't know. Like, this is a good show. And I'm definitely going to rewatch it so I can get all the details. I'm going to rewatch it. I'm going to put my phone away when I watch the shit. And fuck Tony Soprano's mom. She's
she's mean. Yeah, well, she's why he's so messed up. But, the show, I like its distinction between, like, Italians who like him. He grew up in the old neighborhood. That's why they all have the accent. But his kids don't, because they grew up in the wealthy suburb.
Right.
So they don't talk like him.
Exactly.
They don't have that accent. It's like gabagool. Like one of the things they say all the time that I love is like, well, what are you gonna do? Like they'll say something horrible happened to him, and he was like, yeah, my mom, my dad, shot through my mom's beehive. But what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
Pulled a gun on my mom.
What are you gonna do?
right there.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? You know who I love is Silvio, his like right hand man.
Oh yeah.
This is
Silvio
like
is like the
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. So,
No.
I want to see him.
yeah,
Though.
He is the most stereotypical
Okay.
looking mobster ever, though.
because
He
he
does
wears
look
this
like-
wig.
He does this like, with his lip.
The
Hardcore.
picture of him scowling down there is really getting.
He always looks like that.
That's like his. That's just his face. Dude,
Yeah.
You know the one of him scowling.
The season 1
He's
finale,
scowling in like every
when
single
they're
one.
on the boat. We watched that scene and we just watch him. It's the funniest shit in the world. He looks like a PlayStation 2 character. It's the funniest shit in the world.
I mean, that's really held on there.
Like his character. Obviously, it's probably a direction he decided to take. Hopefully, the actor has this gait, but like the character himself must have some sort of like stiff leg or stiff back.
Yeah, he kind of like limps around. Yeah.
And like so when he's reloading his gun, he like can't bend his back, so he's like keeping his back straight. I'll kind of like mimic it for you. He's like keeping his back straight, and he's like leaning back, and then like when he stands, he's just like this with his hands to the side, and then like, I guess I'll pop you. And I'm just like, bro,
Well,
you're a PlayStation.
He's a
2
gremlin.
character.
Well, and Tim, I'll tell you, the real hook of the show is though that it's not just mafia stuff though.
Yeah,
It's a lot of like them, like how they just deal with mundane life stuff, because a lot of it is like about. Well, because here's the premise is that Tony starts having panic attacks.
Right.
He starts having them all the time. Tony's got anxiety, and he starts seeing a therapist. And the first thing he's got to keep it, Dr. Melfi is her name.
Her.
Yeah, yeah. She was in Goodfellas. She was the wife in Goodfellas. Yeah, and she like gets him. Like she figures out pretty quickly that he's in the mob. And she's like very much like a pro. She's like, I don't want to know about anything. He hits on her all the time. She, shuts that down. But then they have this like really good bond. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Advising
Almost as
her
much as
or something.
He needs him. She kind of needs
Yeah.
him. I mean, he needs her. She kind of gets interested and attached to him in the same way. Like, not that she needs him.
She
but
does
so
come to really
interested.
care for him.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I think this guy is like in some ways a monster, but then she kind of like gets him at the same time. He starts. Can we pull up the duck monologue from the first episode? You remember what I'm talking about in the first episode where he starts crying, talking about the ducks
Oh, when they fucking. Oh, sorry.
in
that's not what I'm gonna
the
show
Dr.
you guys
Melfi's office? That's okay.
The duck monologue.
Yeah. He's a doctor. So he had this thing. I love this clip. Oh, hang on.
Why not?
Oh,
You said you're
Why
thinking
not?
clearer, and your wife says you seem to be better? It's not
He's like, so I'm clear. I don't need any more.
Prozac
My
takes
anxiety's
several
gone.
weeks to build up effective levels in the blood.
Well, what is it then?
Coming here, talking. Hope
Talking?
comes in many forms.
Yeah.
Well, who's got
And
time
he
for
doesn't.
that?
Yeah.
What is it you want to say to me?
He doesn't believe in talk therapy, of course.
so like,
Talk about feelings.
what's
But
giving
now
him
he's-
anxiety?
Well,
Just all
this
the
is what
mob
kinda
stuff?
talks about.
Dream
Yeah,
last night.
lots of things.
Okay.
So look, he's like,
My belly button was Phillips head screw. And I'm working on screwing it. And when I get it unscrewed, my penis falls off. I pick it up and I'm holding it and I'm running around. Looking for the
As one
guy
does.
to work on
Yeah.
my Lincoln when I drove Lincoln so he can put it back on.
Well,
And, I'm holding it up, and this bird swoops down and grabs it in
Oh
its
God, bad day.
it's
beak
pretty-
and flies off with it.
he's like sincere.
so what is that?
Kind of.
Seagull or
Important
something.
question.
Seagull.
What, a bird?
Like a
I
duck.
saw the birds last week on cable. You think maybe that planted the idea?
What else is a water bird?
Pelican? Flamingo?
What about ducks?
So pause there. So Tim, so earlier in the episode we find out, in his pool in the backyard, just like we get like lots of creatures back here in my backyard, a family of ducks come and they start hanging out in his pool. And he's like delighted. He thinks it's adorable. So he's really into it, at home. He's like feeding the ducks in the pool. So they start coming there all the time. And one day he's having a barbecue and the ducks leave and they're just gone. And, he doesn't make that big of a deal about it, but shortly after that, he does a panic attack. And that's like a key thing. So the whole show is basically about like how this lifestyle, all this stuff like wears on him, fears about his family. You can press play and see like, this is where he gets emotional. And he's such a good actor.
Yeah, he's one of the best actors I've seen.
What is it about those ducks that meant so much to you?
Yeah, but that's what I like about The Sopranos the most. That
The
it's
acting.
not just...
It's
about that too,
Oh,
but it's not just
sorry.
about...
Mom stuff.
It's not just the mob. Yeah, it's about what the
Yeah.
person
Into my
behind
pool.
the
and little
mob, the
babies.
person in the mob, and what that actually
You read the
means.
thing.
It doesn't make gangstership seem so hard and cool, and then they just like drink beers about
Yeah.
it
I was sad to see him go.
watch strippers, count money.
Oh, Jesus. Fuck, now he's...
That's what I thought it was. No, I knew it had to be more nuanced somehow.
And I also
Yeah,
like
see.
how like very few of them live luxurious too. Only
Oh,
like, the
Jesus.
very head
That's
Mafia.
very.
Birth to the
I gotta tell you, it's very realistic in that
Right.
sense. Like some of them are flashy, but a lot of them are not. They do like they're like stealthy about their money and what they spend on. Little details like Paulie gets his nails manicured and stuff like that. Like that's a legit thing.
Yeah.
Continuity.
That's what I'm full of dread about.
Yeah,
it's a-
like
it's
as
a
someone.
great
Nice.
But I want to
Yeah,
show
someone-
you guys this clip because I don't know if you
This
guys know about
this
guy.
caught my eye actually.
I don't know if
Or-
you- yeah.
So what's this?
This guy's name is Caleb Hammer, and
Alright.
I've been really getting into my finances recently and getting myself organized, and so I've been getting all this finance stuff. And what he does is he audits people's spending habits for them and tries to make a budget.
Oh
for
no.
them. And he
Don't
makes
do that.
content out of it. And some of them are really ridiculous. Like some of them are, as he says, like this 41-year-old refuses to get a job and grow up. But I just want to play this one part because this had me dying, and I want you guys to see, get your guys' reaction.
So he's a financial
Yeah.
advisor
He's like
by
a
trade?
finance advisor type of thing, but yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good
Dash
idea.
Corner
Yeah.
again, DoorDash, so many lottos, and Taridi thing that popped up again. I don't know how to pronounce that. Some finance,
Yeah.
good.
Stories-
Atlantic, Keto, Cece's Pizza.
Well, that was for jury.
Cece's Pizza.
Parking. That was for jury duty.
This guy is so
I've
funny.
already,
Prove that.
yeah, and
Who's he
it's a
talking?
service.
Okay.
It's, you have to do it, and it's.
You know what you
good,
don't
it's
have to do?
important.
Taquitos.
I actually reopened up the courts in
Taquitos.
Austin, so that happened.
Ketos.
Reopened up the courts in Austin.
Ketos. And an awesome bill and National Review for $70. Then Atlantic.
Well, that's important. I'm gonna stay informed.
Staying informed is good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can listen to NPR for free.
$70.
No,
The
the stories,
All this
the
guy's
stories on
spending
NPR aren't
habits.
getting a lot of issues right.
The Atlantic.
Yeah, the Atlantic. I could
Horrible
take it or leave
Spoon,
that.
Netflix, and the Atlantic.
So he's
Yeah,
terrible
This
at
is
money.
so much
Atlantic
crap.
is-
And then watch
Good.
this guy take over.
Well, dude, you're blowing all your money when you don't have money. You can't take care of your own life. You start your checking accounts with nothing. You refuse to get a job that will accept you, like the Whataburger job that did accept you, and then you decided not
Yeah,
to do it.
he applied for a Whataburger job, like a fast food job, but he wouldn't accept it because he apparently had a company of some sort where he was making $500,000 a year, and he thinks like he wants to step into a role where he can make something like that, or it's not worth his time. And he hasn't had a role since he was like 34 or 33,
Oh my gosh.
and his parents paid for
Dude,
it.
Well, I
because
had a
you're getting
reason. I mean, in my head, I had
But
a
you could have
a
gone
reason.
back and got it. They're
I don't
always
know.
hiring.
Yeah, maybe.
They're always
Dude, there are
hiring.
people with felonies working in fast food. I promise you could do it with a misdemeanor B.
Yeah.
They're desperate to hire right now. If any industry is desperate to hire, it is service.
And how long do you think I'm gonna last there?
What does that mean? In terms of get fired or you existing?
Yeah, until I like raise an issue and then.
Well, if you decide to be a big boy and take care of yourself, you'll last there for a while.
Oh yeah.
But it's like, well, if you're competent, can
What is
keep a
maybe?
job.
I just know somebody's going to be like, "Oh, you think you're a smart kid," and I am. I have a degree in information systems, so if I see a way to improve something,
This is usually
I'm
a
gonna
problem
suggest
that
it. And
exists
they're gonna-
Brought this
when
degree
you're
in
like
information
about in
systems
high
and no
school
one
and
cares.
you're getting your first part-time job.
We
What
don't
did I
care.
spend my time on, man?
He said he
What
didn't
did
care
I do?
about his degree.
Why,
and he
why,
got
did, why do I have a degree in information systems if nobody cares?
We don't. No, we don't
Why
care. We don't.
Should I go back to Texas Tech and just give it back to my professors? Be like, nobody gives a shit.
That's not what is going to determine.
Yeah.
Like, here's the first job that I
He
applied
thinks he
for.
can't work anywhere else
Job I'm
besides
wholly
somewhere that
qualified
uses
for.
his degree.
Over
Exactly, and it's just so
qualified
funny
for.
how like
I wanted to work for the city.
this
It
ego on
was
this guy.
called the
I was
Office
gonna say
of
some really
Design
dark
and
shit,
Delivery.
and then
Odd.
that's the clip.
Okay, it's in this municipal building downtown, old library.
It's a weird journey. I
Gorgeous
guess,
mid-century
to
stuff.
be
Okay.
at this
I go in
point
there,
when you're 40.
And they're having a gingerbread bake-off competition. And they want me to judge it. Like, and I'm on an interview. This is what happens when you're famous, okay? Weird
He's
shit like that.
Hey,
I'm not really interested.
well,
I just, I'm not interested in gingerbread. I want to work on product. I want to work on the city's website. They don't hire me because they think I'm too intense, you know? And maybe I am because that's
We're
the
both
background.
intense.
That's
It's
the
okay.
background I come from. You know, I'm used to delivering for my clients. And
I'm extreme.
that's the advertising agency background.
intense.
That's polemics. That's policy. Like, I like to
Okay.
deliver, you know?
Except on.
I
like,
wanted to
any
work
of
for the city.
It's his personality that he's
redeveloping
not
the
getting
city's
hired in
website,
these
and it was called
positions.
the
He's
Alpha
too
Project.
weird.
I think that might be true,
And,
Dom. I think that
you know what? They
he
spend-
might have tried Whataburger and these places, and
Maybe,
they're like,
yeah, there might be some. This guy might be a.
there could be red flags
places.
in his resume.
He,
And I wonder
he
if-
feels like someone playing a character.
Right? I felt like there's like an Eric Andre skit or something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's not
I
Feels
mean,
like a
he's
generic,
giving
yeah.
zookeeper, if I'm honest, with the plants behind him. It's the shirt, but it's also the plants behind him giving me zookeeper.
Yeah, he's
Like information systems. Like, okay, working in for like somewhere you can do something with that. You don't.
I would
have to
think,
work at
you know,
Whataburger.
it took me a
But-
long time to get a job in my degree, but
Lots
not
of
that
people.
long.
Yeah. Well, and no one walks into an executive level position.
exactly
Exactly.
That's
Before
what he
doing
wants
the-
to do.
Yeah.
Well, you can don't do that out of school unless you've been an executive before or you have the experience.
Or
I get the
daddy
sense
gives
of
you
this-
the job. Sorry.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like in Succession. But
Oh,
yeah, yeah. What a
Speaking
weird...
of which,
Oh, did you see the last? I'm the oldest.
is this it?
Yes, the whole breakdown. Spoiler for the.
Oh yeah,
And the
it's all for
Succession people.
I don't watch
I
it.
don't think I'm gonna watch
Succession.
this one, so I
I've
don't
only
mind
seen
as much.
TikTok.
If I
It's
don't
great.
get to do this,
Where's the,
What's
I don't
going
know.
on here? Can I get some
Well,
backstory
there's a
for
part
the?
where he,
Well, Tim, it's the backstory of the whole show.
fucking
Fuck.
vote for me. Just please play that card.
It's the story that this all led up to.
It doesn't even make
I
any
just want to get
sense.
the "I'm the oldest boy" scream.
Boy,
There it
doesn't
is.
make any
Good.
sense. I'm the youngest boy.
Yeah, the so
Eldest
I am
boy.
the youngest boy.
It's the so
I'm the
juvenile.
youngest boy. I am the youngest boy.
Her reaction's great.
And, you know,
dude.
it mattered to him.
It's so
he wanted this to go
juvenile.
on.
I'm
Well,
the
I mean,
oldest
she's the
boy.
bloodline.
But
So
like,
I'm the
oldest
people
boy.
describe the show as like serious Arrested Development.
It is, but it's very funny too.
Yeah,
Like that's the
what they mean.
thing.
Like it's a whole bunch of
Yeah.
spoiled kids that want the position that daddy is built. They want his business.
It's
And
like the Murdochs who own
Yeah.
News Corp, and yeah,
It is funny from what I've seen. Like it's funny unintentionally and intentionally sometimes.
yeah, like
like
in a
the-
dark way.
Like
Wait,
here's
who
a
gets it?
spoiler. I don't know. They're all fighting.
You got to watch the show. Watch the show and
Okay.
see what
It's called
happens.
Succession because they're all fighting for who will succeed, and even the father
Or dad.
doesn't want to give up the seat
the
necessarily.
dead
No,
dad.
and that's the whole thing.
So like,
Yep.
yeah. So it's really he reminds me of if this was Arrested Development, he reminds me of like Will Arnett's character,
Yeah.
a lot.
Joe, nice.
You know what? I don't have time to talk about it now, but I could do a whole episode where we talk about some of the. Actually, one thing we all watched was Ozark, right?
Oh, I love those.
I haven't finished it yet.
Dude,
Sam,
you
finish
got
it.
to. It's so good.
We should do an episode talking about Ozark.
Yeah, we should.
'cause-
Ugh, okay, all right, we'll do it. I'll finish it. We'll do
In
it
fact,
as
it's
soon
the
as
summer.
possible.
I might start rewatch it with that again.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, I was thinking it might be
Ooh.
enough time for me to forget like all the stuff, like all the fine details.
Hey, I freaking live that shit, man. I'm going there in July.
Hey, there you go.
I hope
had
it's much
Jason
more
Bateman.
enjoyable.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be involved with the mafia or the
Laundering.
drugs.
All right,
Well,
guys.
yeah, I think this
I'm
is
gonna
a
have
good
to hop
episode.
off here soon. But this was a good,
Yeah, it's a good episode. We finished.
And
up
I will
talking
say
about
that's
it.
a wrap.
And that's a wrap, guys. If you wanted us to rank something, tune in next time where we might do that if we fucking feel like it.